It's a common practice used by private housing companies running homes on military bases. Some are requiring these non-disclosure agreements when a military family wants to accept a settlement offer over housing problems.
Prohibiting them to talk to anyone.
We took our findings straight to the lawmakers on the Senate Armed Services Committee because that's the panel with the power to address defense matters.
It is outrageous for these companies to demand non-disclosure agreements.
That outrage is echoed by members of both parties on the committee. We showed them the NDA we obtained from one company, banning families from even making negative statements about military housing.
Do you feel it's right that they're asking these military families to sign the non-disclosure agreements? The military families say it might be legal, but it's not right.
No, I don't think it's right. If you're the next family coming in, wouldn't you want to know what the problems are and if they've gotten resolved?
That's why this military family says it refused to sign an NDA for a settlement agreement. We first told you about the Bragg family in September. They were displaced because of mold, sewage, and even dead animals in the walls at their home on Fort Belvoir in Virginia.
It's hush money.
These housing companies have lengthy contracts with the military. So we asked the military if it knew about the use of these non-disclosure agreements and if it supported that practice. In a statement, a spokesperson for the Office of the Secretary of Defense told me, yes, the department is aware that some housing companies are using NDAs. He pointed out it's allowed under the law and says the department supports the NDA requirements. Those provisions are outlined in the yearly defense budget package, known as the National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA.
So will you push to have the language of the law changed to prohibit the use of these NDAs?
Yes.
Senator Elizabeth Warren says she wants it to be a priority for the Senate Armed Services Committee come January, since this year's NDAA is almost a done deal. Another committee member, Senator Richard Blumenthal, meanwhile tells me he wants to see if the military will make the fix on its own first.
The Department of Defense may have the power on its own without changes in the current law to act administratively, and that's what I want to ask.
But if the military doesn't make the change itself, these lawmakers say they will.
If they don't do it, then we ought to do something with the next year's NDAA.
They are providing unhealthy, substandard housing, and they want to keep the military families that live in that housing from being able to talk about it. That is wrong.
And we heard from other lawmakers outraged about this, too. Senators Tim Kaine and Mark Warner of Virginia also tell me they want to take a close look at the use of these NDAs in military housing during next year's negotiations on the defense package. We'll stay on top of this story, and we'll let you know once it's taken up in the committee in the new session of Congress. In Washington, Samantha Manning, Channel 2 Action News.